This podcast contains adult language and mature themes, which may not be suitable for all listeners. So listen at your own fucking risk. Welcome to Essential NPCs, the podcast where we sample some of the best
and possibly some of the worst
tabletop RPGs. I'm Addie.
And I'm Tommy.
And you're listening to Series 1, Episode 8, Faerunian Linguistics.
All right. Episode 8. We actually have some announcements to start this episode with.
Yeah.
Let's start with you taking on some more DMing beyond just the podcast.
As if I need to do it.
Yeah. But in addition to that, you actually are going to be going to a convention, right?
Yes, I am going to be going to Winter Fantasy in Fort Wayne, Indiana this weekend. And I'm going to be running 8 different modules in 4 days. So
all right.
There's a pretty good chance if you're anywhere near there that you could probably come and play. So come say hi.
That's this weekend, right?
Yeah, that's this weekend.
All right. So
it's February 3rd to the Super Bowl Sunday. Whatever that is.
7th.
Yeah. I'm actually really excited to be going, and I would love to meet anyone who wants to come up and say hi.
As for our other announcement...
Yeah, so actually we have a giveaway this week.
Whoop, whoop!
One of our loyal listeners actually donated Elminster's Forgotten Realms, which is written by Ed Greenwood, who is basically the father of Faerun and the larger world of the Forgotten Realms. And it's basically the Forgotten Realms from the character Elminster's point of view. And it's a great background for anyone who runs any D&D campaign or any real fantasy setting. And the art in it is great as well.
Yeah, it's a really cool looking book. We'll probably we'll post a picture of it on our Instagram.
Yeah, definitely.
What do people have to do to enter our sweepstakes?
So we will be announcing the winner next Words with the DM. And all you have to do is go on Facebook or Twitter and tell us your favorite moment from the podcast so far and use the hashtag EssentialNPCs. And we will be picking a winner at the end of the week.
And I think we're going to have the cast sign it, too.
Yeah, we are, actually.
Yeah. This thing is really cool, though.
I know. I kind of don't want to give it away.
my understanding is it's got like a lot of like really cool, nothing that's necessarily rules based.
No, there are 0 rules and there aren't any new classes or anything like that. It's literally the guy who created the Forgotten Realms, basically his thoughts and sketches and
just like a genuine look into the setting.
Yeah.
From the guy who created it.
So there's tons of information in there, like, when the holidays are, like what the calendar is and why it's a 10-day for a week instead of 7.
That's so cool.
Yeah. So it's a really great book. If you are into world building at all, excellent resource.
Go on social media. Post what was your favorite part of the podcast so far. Hashtag Essential NPCs. And maybe you'll be the lucky winner.
Good luck.
So I suppose it's time for Words with the DM.
Hi.
So this is Words with the DM talking about episode 7, 50 Shades of Purple. That was a fun episode to play. Hopefully a fun episode to listen. I will say one thing right off the bat about it is it kind of like has like a slow start. We're just buying horses. We're just traveling. It's a lot of us moving along and some role playing, which is why it was fun for us to play because we got to like kind of interact as our characters a little bit. And then like shit goes down and like the finale, like the end part, like the last like 30 minutes of that episode, so cool, so much fun. Everything that has to do with Robert and the church and all that. It was great. Yeah.
Unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you look at it, I set the adventure in the western half of Faerun, basically. Mm-hmm. So there's going to be some travel. I've tried to make it as interesting as possible, but sometimes, just like in real life, you gotta buy a car.
You just gotta do some shopping. Gotta pick out a horse. I love Cisco, by the way. Correct me if I'm wrong. I thought I remember you saying at one point, like, we were doing all this traveling, and you were doing, like, in 5th edition D&D, there's rules for, like, encounters. Mm-hmm. And, like, it's, like, random encounters. Like, you're walking, every time you travel, like, depending on how long you're traveling, the DM rolls, like, a D20 so many times, and then that, like, determines if, like, you get attacked by bandits or something like that.
Yeah, so that's one of the traveling mechanics that it's optional. And I roll about 1/3 as many times as the book suggests in the alternate rolls.
And I still found it surprising that we didn't like have any like weird like wolves attack or something like that. No,
that's literally the way the dice went. Also, I'm actually kind of glad that happened because I worked really hard to streamline everything so we can get you where you need to be by the time that we're ready to switch to Shadowrun.
Yes. And Series 2, Shadowrun.
And so a random encounter could seriously slow that down.
That makes sense.
There is some buffer in there.
You got some wiggle room.
But, you know.
Yeah. Oh, you know, you were mentioning dice rolls. Let's go ahead and talk about the, I don't know, what was it? 13 perception tests on top of was it 8 before? So we've now made 21 perception tests to figure out wherever the hell is following us or watching us, or I don't even know if it's an it. I have no idea what it is.
I don't know what you're talking about.
God damn it. It's ridiculous. I did roll a 27 to perceive the stone inside the middle of the vortex.
Yeah, that was good. You didn't need that much.
Yeah. That encounter was really cool though. Unexpected and very cool.
Yeah, actually, that was a town that I played in as a player right after I moved to Chicago.
Bringing in a little bit of your homebrew into the podcast.
Yeah, it was such a great experience, and I made a lot of really good friends at that table, some of whom I still play with, and I kind of wanted to see what happened after we left. Huh. So now we know.
So like maybe there's some people out there listening to the podcast that's like, that was me. I'm the purple gnome or whatever.
I mean, you do know him.
Oh, no. Oh, that's going to bother me. All right. What was your favorite part as the DM for episode 7?
Well, I really want to give the shady DM answer of, I know it's coming next.
Fuck you.
But since I have to confine myself to this episode specifically, episode 7,
50 Shades of Purple,
I would have to say my favorite part is actually a tie.
Oh.
So as a DM, it was great to come back to this town and sort of build out what happened. And some of the characters that you guys meet are characters that I played with when I played there.
Yeah,
so
you were just
great.
a player. Yeah.
Yeah.
And this time you got to return as a god.
But that's solidly tied with Covert's amazing turn, something I did not see coming. I allowed it. And that is the Junior Paladin badge.
The Junior Paladin, that was awesome.
You know, he's just got leaflets.
Yeah. It's like, imagine he has like this like part of his bag that is just like a bunch of like Cuthbertine like.
It's also where he keeps his cudgel.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Everyone we meet.
And like, so like I feel like every episode he's got like a new thing. At first it was just like cudgel. Then it was like, oh, here's a book. Oh, here's a leaflet. Oh, here's the badge. We have a Junior Paladin order now.
Yeah.
And I just that was something that I didn't necessarily expect, but thought it was great.
Yeah.
So it's your turn now. What?
Oh.
You should have seen it coming.
Yeah. No. Somehow I'm always surprised.
What was your favorite part of the episode?
I'd say I kind of mentioned it earlier. I'd say my favorite part was the vortex encounter, if you can call it an encounter, because it wasn't like a monster or something we were fighting. I liked it because I could see it really clearly in my head as soon as it happened. Like you had this perfect level of tension as it went through. So like we knew we had seconds before this situation that was already bad just got way worse. So that whole thing, like I said, since the episode kind of was a calm episode leading all the way up to that.
Yeah.
And then a really terrifying experience where we were like, oh shit, otherworldly bad shit's happening.
Yeah, I lulled you into a false sense of security.
Yeah. It was a really fun experience and as a player because I felt like you did a really good job of making the danger very apparent, and just the mental image, like in the Crethlin falls and slides a little bit, and I just like leap onto him, and then Daron leaps on, and then Bankard is sitting there holding all three of us on this rope, and he rolls a natural 20 to fucking pull us out. Oh my god, it worked so well.
Yeah.
Good episode. Well done, you.
No.
All right, I think with that, words with the DM.
Hi.
Can come to a close.
Bye.
Oh no! Don't start doing that. But yeah, really quick. Just a reminder: we have this sweepstakes giveaway. Go on to social media, Twitter, Facebook. Post what your favorite part of the podcast is so far. Hashtag Essential NPCs. That will enter you in, and we'll figure out the winner next week.
And in case you forgot, you'll be winning Elminster's Forgotten Realms.
Yeah. It's a really cool looking book. Check it out on our Instagram. We'll have a picture of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's with all that, let's charge on forward to Series 1, Episode 8, Faerunian Linguistics.
Enjoy.
Well met. My name is Oberon Delgado, a Termish gladiator hailing from a remote desert village called Evershade. As quick with a sword as I am with my cutting wit, on a typical day you can expect to find me in one of two places: the local fighting pits or the library. When I was a young boy, a stroke of luck led me to discover a buried chest that had once belonged to a master bard called Hoban Baybasin. Amongst his belongings were an old cracked ocarina and a leather-bound journal. Within its pages I found obscure glyphs and diagrams from which I began to decipher the mysteries of the arcane. Over a decade later, I'm still attempting to unlock all the secrets this journal has to offer. While I've only been on the road for a few years now, I've crossed the path of more than a few interesting traveling companions. As is the bardic way, I've taken to listening to their stories and occasionally even joining in on some of their adventures. The most recent of these companions came in the form of a mountain dwarf named Crethlin, whom I met in a tavern brawl a few months back. In his company, I've found myself swept up in a journey that makes the fighting pits seem dull in comparison. Until now, I've simply documented the stories of others, but something tells me I'll be chronicling my own tales for posterity soon enough.
I'm called Crethlin Partintil, an officer of the clan Thrain, barbarian and mountain dwarf of the highest caliber. I was a military lad before the first hairs grew on my chin, and I served for 200 years until they retired me and put me in the fucking Lawmakers Guild. I used to lead every clan migration between strongholds, scouting ahead, clearing the path, destroying threats, but once they retired me, I had to travel with the civilians. Well, I didn't have that for long. I left my clan 3 decades ago now and wouldn't return for all the gold in the caverns. I'm a traveller now. The laws of the Thrain are still close to my heart. For years, my officer salary kept me afloat, but I've run flat broke now and have to work for my logger. Luckily, there's lots to be done with a maul and a hand axe. Oberon started following me around about 7 or 8 moons ago. The lad annoys the shite out of me, but he has his moments. Mostly he's there to tell my tale once I've finally been slain by some tough bastard. I suppose he's useful for something. If you want a glimpse into my travels, just take a look in my knapsack. I've got a centaur's tail cut with my own hands. I've got a beard comb made from the rib of a bear, the one whose skin I've got round my shoulders there. Just look at that face. I've got a bottle of wine from the finest elven pantry, and I've got plenty of room for more trophies of the like. Now go piss off before I make you eat your teeth.
I'm Benkard Brightwood, Paladin of the Cuthbertine Order. I was sent by my order to assist the Thieves Guild. For a bunch of brigands, they surprisingly do quite a bit of God's work. When I arrived, I met a group of fellow adventurers. We came across this funny little halfling by the name of Barley. Barley was rather annoying, but all in all, I could tell he was a good man. And when Barley was killed, just because he was annoying, I never felt so helpless in my life. Felt like I let down St. Cuthbert and the common man he's supposed to protect, that I was supposed to protect. That night I swore an oath to Barley, to everyone. If you're ever harmed by evil, I, Benkard Brightwood, Paladin of St. Cuthbert, shall use his blessings to make you whole again, and harness his wrath to cleave evil in two.
I'm Darren Draug. They call me the Cleaner. Whenever there's a dirty job, I'm the guy the Thieves Guild calls to clean it up. I think fast, I talk fast, I act fast. I was born a wood elf, but I'd say I'm more of a city elf now. I don't see my family much anymore. At 351 years old, I'm just over the proverbial hill, and I've been doing what I'm doing for a long time. I bounced around Baldur's Gate and Waterdeep for a century or two, mostly cleaning, with a brief detour into doomed romance. I've never been much of a family man, especially since the job tends to get in the way. Occasionally, the differing nature of mortality between elves and humans gets in the way as well. But in recent years, I've been watching the next generation of Thieves Guild members grow up and come into their own, the latest of which is my dear young friend Bryn the Handsome, who called me in for a particularly dirty job. And unless my experience is wrong, with this job and these companions, it's gonna take a lot of cleaning.
The last time we left our adventurers, they landed in Waterdeep after a fairly harrowing airship ride. They bought some horses and headed out on the open road, where they ended up in a town that apparently was the last place that Anna Ravenhelm, their quarry, had been seen. They were able to retrieve one of the stones that Bryn has been collecting, and now they are in possession of 6 of them, and now are following Bryn's map to Silvery Moon, the elven city in the north, to see if they can't find out more about what's going on. You wake up.
Woohoo! I make us whatever breakfast I can with the amount of food we have left.
Oh, I'm so refreshed.
I was gonna get some pickles in the last town, god damn it.
Oh, it's too late now. Maybe we'll find a pickle tree somewhere.
Pickles don't grow on trees, you idiot.
I haven't read a book on pickles. I have no idea how they work.
On the road to an elven city. It's been a while for me.
How are my lessons with in Elvish going?
Roll a d20. Add your intelligence modifier.
So that's a 6.
Not so great. You've
Sorry.
been distracted.
I have. I've been actually rather consumed with the journal I carry with me.
Well, your first 3 conjugations are doing well. The other 9, we still got to work on, and we haven't even touched the noun declensions for the vocative case.
Oh boy. Yeah. So let's continue on our way. It's just out of curiosity, though. On the way there, I wanna touch that quarterstaff and identify it
Sure.
as a ritual. See if we've been carrying around this quarterstaff for a while. Maybe
you
there's
just
something-
reach over and you like touch my stick, and I'm like, "What are you doing?"
Well, it's gonna take me. I'm gonna hold
didn't
on
see
to your
this.
stick for 10 minutes.
Hey,
You
baby.
just like
10 minutes,
don't
that's all?
speak to me.
Yeah. Any magical properties to this quarterstaff he's been carrying around for like a month almost now? No, it's only been a couple weeks.
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
He's apparently collecting all the magical items that
Apparently.
you guys picked
Yeah,
up.
whoops. Sorry about that, guys.
Magic is for suckers.
It's cool. I don't need any magical items. Whatever.
It is is an immovable rod.
An immovable rod.
Nice. Oh, those things are bomb.
Oh, we are gonna break the world of physics.
So like it's like when you activate it, it just wherever it is, it sticks in place, right?
Yes.
That's incredibly useful, and it would have been real nice to
have
know
that?
about that when we were running away from a giant hell vortex.
Jesus Christ.
God, Oberon, you asking questions is actually the best thing that has happened to this party.
Finally ask one that's useful after all this time.
Hey man, I found out about Daron's dagger. That was pretty cool,
Oh,
right,
that
guys?
was so
Remember
cool.
that? Yeah.
Hey,
I'm really helpful, guys.
What's the do you know the command word for it?
I should.
There is no command word.
Is there like a thing you press?
There's a button.
There's a button. It's this button right here. I'm
Why did I
surprised
never
you-
notice this button?
It is in between sort of the, for lack of a better term, the branches, right nestled in between. So you have to like stick your finger into the branches to make it. It's not a very convenient
Now,
placement.
this thing's made out of wood, right?
Yes.
I'm curious. Shillelagh is a bonus action, and nowhere in its description does it say anything about the fact that, or say anything limiting me on casting it on 2 items, 1 in each hand.
No, you can only cast it on one. The spell ends if you cast it again or if you let go of the weapon.
Cool. Excellent. Great. Then yeah, I'll just keep my whip then. It does less damage, and but I like it. It's my whip.
All right. Well, in the meantime, I am more than happy to keep an immovable rod in my possession.
Just think of whatever that stick was that you broke.
I don't want to think about it.
Or the 2 you left behind.
Yep. Yeah. All right. So yeah, traveling along on the road.
Okay.
Just start touching everything, guys.
So you can either continue north to Neverwinter and then take the northern road east to the Silvery Moon area, or you can cut through the North Pass of the mountains, which is not a road but a path. That's the most direct route from where you are now.
How much time do we cut if we take the path?
It's winter, so probably a week.
I think if we're interested in getting there as quickly as possible, we may want to take the road less traveled and go down that path instead of circling through Neverwinter and taking the actual main road.
That sounds fine to me. Was there a circle on Neverwinter?
No.
Then
Yeah.
let's not get sidetracked, I suppose.
Yeah. The only thing that Neverwinter might be able to yield is more information about Enna, but we're pretty certain where she was seen last. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm picturing the map in my head. We can hit what's the place we're going to? Silvery Moon, and then go to the forest that is circled.
No, it's the forest and then
Forest. Sorry. So we could hit the forest, then Silvery Moon, and then would we be terribly far from Neverwinter to then go to Neverwinter?
I mean, it
afterwards?
would still be a week.
Right.
A
So
week, or it would be 10 days. So
We can always circle back.
yeah. Well, I mean, we always, and if we're gonna start hitting these purple circles that Bryn has left on this map, we are going to have to circle back and take the main road down to back to Waterdeep, because there is a circle nearby Waterdeep. Or was it Baldur's Gate? In between Baldur's Gate and Waterdeep, right in the middle of the halfway point, right? At that castle.
just south of Dragonspear Castle.
Yeah. So we're gonna have to go down south anyways. So we could cut through the road, get to the forest quicker, and then go to Silvery Moon, circle back through, maybe rest in Neverwinter for a night and see if we can ask some questions about Anna's whereabouts, and then head back down south to Baldur's Gate, assuming we survive all of this this traveling.
Well, I must admit, Oberon, that sounds like a pretty airtight plan.
All right. This away, guys. I'm looking at the map and,
Okay.
and head towards the path.
The path actually, as it turns out, is a little bit snowed over. Not impassable, but it is slower. You're probably not saving as much time as you initially thought you would, but you are still saving time. It's not going to take you the full 15 days to get there.
Okay.
You're in the mountains, and the path is creepily deserted, but nothing unexpected happens. You do pass a dwarven settlement in the mountains along the path.
I would like to investigate that dwarven settlement.
Okay.
Are these mountain ranges that I would recognize?
I'm not sure that the Thrin ever stayed here, but if you were ever an emissary of any kind, you probably made it out this far.
Not like an emissary.
But like if you went to other kingdoms
Sure.
or whatever,
Right.
you probably have been here before.
Yeah, I would say maybe.
Okay. So the last time you were here, it was a very large settlement. However, now it's only got about 25 people living in the caves here. It seems that all of the mining and all that happened here sort of dried up a few years ago. But they do welcome you in because it's always nice to have a member of the Thrin around. And your friend Adric is actually still there.
Adric. That's a name I haven't heard in how many years?
Probably 7, 8.
8 years. All right.
I've heard you were dead.
Lad, how many times have you heard that in your life?
Well, quite a few.
Ah.
What are you doing here? Have you come to visit us?
Oh, not in so many words. We're on a journey, just passing through, I suppose I should say.
Where are you passing from?
Our journey started, I suppose, in Baldur's Gate. It's been a good travel. We're trying to find a friend, I suppose.
A specific friend or just anybody?
Well, it's you won't believe this, but I'm actually looking for a half elf.
An elf?
Aye.
And you're spending time with another?
Aye.
It's not his fault.
You are a changed dwarf, friend.
I've spent a few years on the road in between our last meeting, and my mind has been slightly opened a tiny crack to these uppity creatures.
Well, it's always nice to see you here.
Likewise, Adrian, likewise.
You're welcome to stay the night. We'll water and feed your horses if you like. Otherwise, you're welcome to stay.
What do you say, lads? You want to spend a night here?
Yeah,
Travel on in the morning?
Been rather cold tonight. I would like to stay in shelter. That'd be great.
Aye.
Perfectly fine. Maybe pick up some ingredients for the road.
Aye.
Yep.
Is Adrian from a specific clan?
He's a gold dwarf.
A gold dwarf?
Gold.
And he's a mountain dwarf, too.
He's a mountain dwarf, yeah.
Adrin, is it right?
Adrian.
I was wondering if, in addition to room and shelter, if you had like a small stock of apples I could borrow. My horse is rather partial to them. Not borrow, sorry, have.
Buy
Well-
them, would you? You're in a dwarf community now,
Right.
laddie.
Well, if you like a barrel of apples,
A
sure.
barrel's a bit much. We're traveling light, but I'll take a dozen or so.
Sure. All we've got is the winter stock, so there's that.
Well, tell me. It's actually been years since I've tried the gold dwarven fare of pickled apples. Have you got any fresh stock of those?
That I do. And he rummages through his own personal stock and he tosses you one.
Ah! Oh!
How's that?
Incredible. Here, try this. And I hand it over to Oberon.
Oh, sweet, nice.
You wouldn't expect it, eh?
I take another bite and I hand you the rest.
And I eat the whole thing in one bite, including the core.
Okay.
Okay.
Delicious.
It'll be 5 silver
Right.
for your bag of apples.
I appreciate it, and so does Siska. Oh, my horse.
Right. Well, I'm glad to make your...
You get used to him, Adrian. You get used to him. He's a
okay,
right chipper lad.
He talks to you in Dwarvish. He's a bit weird, huh?
I've been traveling with him for far too long. I've gotten used to it.
What do you think they're saying about me, guys?
Oh, probably perfectly nice things. You're a perfectly nice young man.
Nothing but good things, I'm sure.
Thank you, guys.
I
That's great.
continue in Dwarvish. So the rest of these fics are a little strange as well, so prepare yourself. This one talks about a saint pretty much constantly. This one, well, you can see...
Elf.
Pointy ears.
Look how
eh?
pointy his ears are.
Even with your strange company, I'm happy to have you here.
I thank you, Adrian.
I've got to go down in the mines, but it's my shift. But you're welcome to stay here as long as you like.
Thank you.
And he doesn't even say bye to your friends and just like leaves.
Yep.
Oh, he pops his head back in. The ale's in the back. Don't finish it. And then he shuts the door and leaves.
You heard him. Try not to finish it. And I go back and I pour everybody a glass. And I pour myself too.
All right.
All right, and so rest up and head out at first light.
So you stay overnight, and then you travel.
I snag a pack of pickled apples. Take along with me.
And during my extra 4 hours tonight, I'm going to put the immovable rod up. I'm going to press the button. And while everyone is asleep, I'm going to practice like gymnastics. I'm like, this is pretty cool.
Oh, man.
Okay. So you guys head out. Bankard, Oki tells you all about how weird dwarven ponies are as you travel. You guys make it out of the mountains okay. A little frostbitten, but generally all right. And you come out.
That's easily cured.
And you come out to the forest.
Ooh, it's pretty.
The forest is old, an old forest. You know it as the High Forest. It is the oldest elven forest that you know of outside of the Feywild. It is where the Green Elves first made their start.
It feels like I'm on a pilgrimage if I had come here on purpose. Is it mostly high elves around here, or
A bit of both.
okay?
And the circle is like right on Silvery Moon, right?
Wait, there was another circle in this forest.
Oh, right, it's right. Forest. We're stopping in this forest because the circle's there. Right. I keep thinking Silvery Moon is...
The forest had the X, and Silvery Moon had the.
So we believe there's already been one.
It's not the X that you've been to. It's a different X. It's the big black X that
It's
had
still
the.
worth investigating then.
Yeah, if it's on our way.
So there was basically the symbols that you guys are working with at the moment are the purple circles, and then the big like black X's, and then the sort of like crossed out X's. The crossed out X's are where you and Bryn had been,
Okay.
and then the big black X's. There are two. There's one in the Cormyr Forest, and then Condath Forest, and then there's one in the High Forest.
That sounds promising.
All right.
Kind of into the forest, roughly where the X leads.
Sure.
Do I know of any particular landmarks to be on the lookout for?
Well, you know that the grandfather tree is in here, which is like the first tree kind of thing, according to elf lore.
Okay. So I kind of want to go there, but I don't want to say it out loud.
Kinda.
Do I know that the grandfather tree is here?
Roll to see if you've read a book about elf lore, because it's mostly in Elvish. So
And I
probably
can't
not.
read Elvish, which would explain why. What is this? An intelligence or history or what?
Yeah, you could do history.
12?
No,
Yeah.
you've never heard of it.
Yeah, I don't know, guys. So writing on.
In our Elvish lessons, I'm going to like teach you the words for like all the different types of trees and all their declensions.
So, as you enter the forest, Darren, you feel sort of like a stir in your soul, like something intrinsically about you is drawn intrinsically to this place.
Having an okay time.
You know that the High Forest is. There are small woodland elfish communities. They're small, generally considered to be nomadic, and you know that wood elves are the elves of the day in this part. When you get to Silvery Moon, it's more a bit of both.
Mm-hmm. So, like, as I'm getting deeper into this forest, I guess I feel my like urge to visit the grandfather tree while I'm here grow a little bit, and eventually I just blurt out, "We should visit the grandfather tree."
The grandfather tree? What's that?
Well, the grandfather tree is believed to be the first tree ever in elven lore.
God.
What? Well, if you heard about the first mountain ever, wouldn't you want to visit that?
The first mountain is a real thing, though.
Well, maybe the first tree is a real thing.
The tree is so young and inexperienced.
Not the grandfather tree. The grandfather tree is old and very experienced.
I would love to see the grandfather tree.
Look at that. We got 2 votes for the grandfather tree.
What do you think, Bankard?
Oh, Bankard, come now.
I would love to see them.
God
Oh,
damn it,
yeah,
God.
votes for the grand.
What a waste of time.
Well, let's waste our time a little bit. I think we've earned it. I mean, maybe could be educational. Maybe we'll find a stone there. I don't know.
To the grandfather tree.
Okay, so you guys head into the forest, and wisdom saving throw from everyone who's not an elf.
Oh no.
Bank card's 11.
Oh, your lord. Mine is 3.
Natural 1 for Oberon. My dice are back.
Okay. So something is making you not want to enter. To you, Darren, it's welcoming and inviting, and as the sun sets, fairy lights come out. It's very like fey and sylvan. As the sun goes down for the rest of you, it gets dark and creepy as shit. That's the technical term.
Do I have the idea that possibly I'm being affected by some kind of magic that is causing this fear? Is it fear that I'm feeling?
It's like a feeling of uneasiness. It's not like you want to like run away. It's just like, I don't know, should we be here? Sort of like that niggling at the back of your neck kind of thing.
Okay.
You're not like scared, but you're not comfortable.
I'm not scared, guys. What do you let's just keep going. I do go rather loudly, cutting into the darkness. I don't see very many. I haven't seen very many trees. I grew up in a desert, so they're really big and dark, very dark. I never even thought about that. In the desert, it's always really open and sunny, and
You guys are with me. Just enjoy the silence.
He sounds. Are you all right, Darren? You sound really happy.
I don't know. It's just.
What is that smile plastered across your face?
Sometimes when you come home, it's not as bad as you expected.
You're really ugly when you smile, you know that.
Yeah, I do. That's why I try not to do it. But,
We should keep with
sometimes it's not about pleasing the grumpy dwarf in your party. Just about letting the moon shine in.
And continue forward.
So as you go further into the woods, the non-elves, you feel like you're being watched. Not in like a nefarious way, just like people are looking at you. There are no people around, though, that you can tell. You get probably a little over a mile into the woods, maybe 2, and it's dark enough that you know that it's night and you should probably camp.
I say to my horse, yeah, way too happy.
We're surrounded by life, and it's really nice to go home without going to your actual home. Because it feels nice, but you don't have any of the terrible memories.
Or the bounties?
What? Bounties? No. My parents are just disappointed in me.
Ouch. I think I'd rather the bounty.
I mean, I'm sure I have some bounties somewhere, but I don't need bounties to feel validated. Anyway, it's probably a good time to camp.
Yeah, let's set up, go for watch. Darren, you seem chipper enough to take first watch. I'll take second.
I'll go third.
Third, Crethin,
I'll
your turn?
sleep.
Yeah.
Okay, would you roll perception, Darren?
I would. 11. Having a good time.
Okay, so as you are keeping watch, you're, sort of like feeling very comfortable. Your awareness is up, but not focused. Mm-hmm. And so you don't notice until you feel the tip of the arrow in the back of your neck, just pressing in a little bit.
Hello. Can I help you with something?
Why have you entered this forest with non-Fae?
It's all right.
You're
They're
not
with me.
welcome here.
Look, I'm telling you, everything is all right. They're with me. They're not going to harm anything.
The High Forest is a sacred place, and you've brought unholiness with you.
Unholiness, perhaps. But I'm keeping close watch on them, and I want you to know that we're here on very important business. We're looking for a friend of ours who happens to be half-elven herself. We think she may have come through here, and we're looking to save her from something much unholier than the likes of mere mortals.
You know not what you carry, do you?
No, I don't. Do you?
We can feel it. It is not welcome here.
Then we'll be on our way. We were thinking of taking a pilgrimage to the grandfather tree and seeing if we could find and expel any of this unholiness that may still be here.
The arrow, is removed. And do you turn around?
Yes.
Okay. And you see 4 elves, the woman you've been talking to, another woman to her right, and then 2 men on either side. They're dressed in head to toe, legit wood elf.
Full wood elf.
Yeah, regalia.
And I just look like a city elf. I know I look like I don't belong, but the woods are in fact my original ancestral home. And this presence you can feel, we believe there may be some of it tainting these woods as well. We've come to get rid of it if we can.
Well, we cannot let you leave without you seeing the Red Lady and speaking with her. We must take you there. We will come for you in the morning. Do not leave.
I won't.
And they withdraw into the trees, and you don't see them. It's like they meld back into the trees.
I could do that if I felt like it. I wake Oberon up for who was on second watch?
I was on second watch.
All right, I wake Oberon up for second watch. Hey, yeah, I think there might be some elves lurking around here. Don't worry about it. They're not gonna hurt you. But we might maybe visit them tomorrow morning.
Oh, I would love to visit elves. That sounds really fun.
Great. Make sure you vote for that when I float it.
Yeah, I was thinking about our voting system. There's 4 of us. If there's a tie, I don't know what we're going to do.
I guess we'll ask Bankart's horse.
Good call. Yeah, so I post up for my watch.
Nothing happens.
Cool, awesome. I hang out.
All right.
And
Who's
I
up next?
wake up Bankard for his.
Huh?
You're up, man.
Yeah. Oh, no, thanks.
I want a little shut-eyed too, man.
All right. So I sleepily rise from my bedroll or whatever and start watching.
Okay. Nothing in particular happens. And morning rises, and as the sun rises, a little bit of the unease also dissipates from you guys.
You know what? The forest doesn't look that bad. It's actually kind of pretty.
Still looks like a load of shite to me.
Well, you're going to see a little more of it before we leave.
It's just creepy at night. That's all it is.
I happened to do some parley with some elves last night.
Did what?
Some parley with some elves. And
Elves are around here.
yes, elves live in this forest. Would you believe it? And it looks like we're going to visit one of my enclaves.
Oh, that wasn't part of the deal. I thought we were going to go see our stupid tree and then leave.
We visited a dwarf cave, so now we're going to visit an elf home. It's only fair.
Hey, I mean, we entered into their territory. If they want to meet with us, they have the right.
Plus,
It's only fair.
They seem to imply that they might know something about these stones.
Oh.
Oh. All right.
Fair.
Look, ordinarily I'd agree with you, but
What? Not any one of you ever agreed with me.
well, I must admit I'm not openly fond of the haughtiness of my own kind. However, at this juncture, they may know something that we don't, and it would be wise to maybe respect them in their own home, where they have lots of bows and arrows.
Right. I mean, it's you're a guest in someone's home. You treat them with respect, regardless. That's of the Throne custom, I believe.
Some kind of hospitality, rule of being a guest. I don't know.
Well, in the Thren custom, if you have a guest in your own home, then the host provides all of the comforts. And I don't see any of those comforts around here of your elven friends, so I assume that we are not necessarily friendly to them.
Roll perception.
All of us, or
Yeah.
5.
23 from David.
21.
natural 1 for Oberon.
You really are back.
So as Creflin is on high alert, he notices, and Darren, as you're in your natural element, you notice, and the humans
don't notice. Cadre of elves step out of the trees. Some of them actually step out of trees and appear sort of not surrounding you, but definitely, on the outskirts of your little settlement.
I raise up my maul.
Good morning. Please
Hello.
don't.
If you're done with trying to convince your allies, whom you say have no threat to us, they look pointedly at Kreslin and his raised maul. The Lady of the Wood is eager to see you.
As I am her, of course.
We're gonna go see the Lady of the
There's
Wood.
always some lady of the wood, some lady of the water.
I put my arm around
Don't
Kreflin.
worry about my friend here. He's mostly grumpy.
Your horses will be taken care of. We go on foot from here.
Cisco likes apples, just so you know.
I know, he told us.
Cool.
She's good.
And I pat my horse and I kind of like grabs me and rile him up a little bit for him.
All right. So they lead you through the woods. I am Marielle Sandren. I am the leader of this little party that came upon yours. As we walk, I would like to ask you a few questions about how you came into your possession of whatever it is that we can feel.
You told him?
It's an honor to meet you, Marielle. My name is Darren Draub. And, well, I must admit, I've been looking for these stones for a while, and I've only just recently found these. We're not sure exactly what they do, and we're hoping if you know what they do that you can inform us. But we're actually trying to keep them out of nefarious hands at the moment.
So you're speaking in common, but with that accent.
No, I am speaking Elvish.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just making sure.
And when I usually in that accent,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
will be speaking Elvish.
Gotcha. I figured, but I just wanted to check because otherwise I would comment.
How much of this do you understand with your training?
Probably none. I hear
If there are any numbers, maybe letters.
yeah, I hear like I'm, and you.
I know. I can speak it.
Yeah, Bankard knows what's up.
Yep.
Oh wait.
That's cool.
As we're walking, I'm going to cast tongues on myself, which gives me the ability to understand any spoken language, and furthermore, allow anyone to understand my spoken language.
Interesting. As you cast, they take note, but don't say anything. All right.
And it lasts for an hour.
You don't object to arcane casting, do you?
No, it is what we do mostly.
Very good. Well, my friend is actually quite well studied in them.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Whoa! What did you cast?
It's just a spell that I
Quite impressive.
What the fuck are you all saying?
Actually, you can understand me.
Oh,
To you, it sounds like
right,
Dwarvish.
Yeah, right. Okay, for sure. What? What are you talking to them like that for? How did you learn to talk like that?
Don't worry about it. I cannot do a Scottish accent.
Your accent's a little off, but I understand what you're saying.
It's a little off, yeah.
I've got so
Slightly.
many accents I've got to switch between.
It's a little off, yeah, but you understand.
For sneaking neighbor.
It's like Cockney Russian.
Yeah, I'm so bad. I'm bad with like most accents, and Scottish might be one of my worst. So have fun with that.
Okay, so back on track.
Yes.
As you walk, you're actually joined by a number of woodland creatures like centaurs and things. It seems
Squirrels.
your squirrels. Squirrel. It seems that your presence has been felt throughout the forest, and people are sort of coming to see what's going on.
Look, we're the main event.
As usual.
I love
She
it.
says this in common. The Red Lady, she's going to want to speak with you first, probably in public, and then she'll take your private audience. She's not afraid, but she is concerned that you've brought this in. I've not seen her as troubled as this for quite some time. I would hold fast to whatever it is you all possess.
Well, I will try to assuage her fears.
Likewise.
Also, be careful the elves in the High Forest are not all united, and while we are giving you safe passage, others may not once you leave us.
Well, thank you for your warning, and thank you for being peaceable with us. We do appreciate it.
It was not my decision, but you are welcome. So you walk up, and it's an elvish city, small, but it looks permanent, carved out of the trees. And there's a woman dressed in an elven woman dressed in red flowers and leaves, sort of woven together to make an outfit. And she's also got brass-colored hair, which is unusual for an elf. That goes down to about her waist.
Pardon me if this is a gauche question, but how old does she look?
You can't tell. Not really. But with the reverence everyone's giving her, she's probably pretty old.
I'm going to roll for crush.
Roll for crush.
All right. I got a 10.
You crushing a little bit there?
Halfway.
Okay. So as you come up, your escort stops, but sort of indicates that you guys should go ahead.
I step forward.
Welcome, friends. And she has perfect common accent. There's no touch of like Elvish at all.
Oh, thank you. What is the traditional like Elvish custom for like respectful greeting?
Bowing.
I do it.
Good noon to you.
That's racist.
Yeah.
Thank you for safe passage through these woods so far.
You're welcome. I have to admit, the moment that you and your companions entered our woods, it was quite disconcerting. You have in your possession something that I don't understand, but have felt before, and I should like very much to speak with you about it. While in this forest, you are under my protection. That does not protect you from everything in the forest, but no elf, no centaur, no unicorn shall harm you.
There are unicorns.
Thank you. That is much appreciated. We are happy to inform you with whatever we know about what we have brought into the forest, and we are happy to take it out of the forest.
Okay. And she addresses the rest of the gathered populace in Elvish. Thank you for your peaceable escort. These people are under my protection and shall not be harmed.
She's being nice to us.
She's saying that we're gonna.
You must protect them with your lives, for what they hold must not be taken from them. And there's like a rustle through the crowd, and then she says to you, "This way, please."
I whisper a translation to Creflin.
Thanks.
Now you know.
I follow.
So then she invites you in.
My Crethlin, this must be quite frustrating. Do you not understand me?
He's mocking you, lad.
Better watch yourself, lad. I've got a pick that'll pierce right through that armor.
So you guys enter into her private chamber or like residence, and she offers you a drink. She doesn't have anything in front of her, so she asks like, what is it that you would like? Anything.
Any mulled wine? Any mead? Any ale?
She like does a conjuring motion, and all three appear.
Oh, these are mine, thank you.
I'll have what he's having.
She conjures that as well. After
Thank you, ma'am. Much-
meh look.
I'll have your favorite.
Likewise.
Okay.
Brown nosers.
So she conjures a bottle of a bulbed bottle with a long spout, and she pours it into small cups for you guys.
Oh, I haven't had this in ages.
What is it?
I don't know.
It's an elvish wine concoction. It's sweet and spicy.
Interesting.
The flavor.
So she sits down, pours herself a very small glass of what she conjured, and says, "What is it that you carry?"
I must admit, we don't know ourselves. We're only trying to gather these because we believe that someone with ill intent is trying to do it at the same time, and we want to keep it out of their hands.
Yes, I know it is who it is you speak of.
Really? Can you tell us?
You said you've felt this before?
Yes. Anything you can tell us would be immensely helpful.
About 300 years ago, there was a man, an elf, who was a very trusted confidant. But when our cities were ransacked by orcs and then dwarves and then goblins, and we couldn't protect ourselves, we were forced back into the forest. And this man, called Faerunian Linguistics,
We've heard that name before.
Aye, we have.
You heard it when we were in.
I'm sure that's true.
When we were in the manor, rescuing Enna.
Oh, that was one of the things that I heard through the door.
Yeah.
But only I heard that.
You
Yeah.
said it though. You said it out loud.
You said there were 3 things that you heard, and then you could
remembered
only
2 of them.
remember 2, and Faerunian was one of them.
Good. Yes. Oh, I remember that. I remember hearing that thing.
He,
Apparently one of my companions has heard this name before.
Is that the only way? Is she speaking in Elvish? Or is
yeah,
she
she's speaking common.
Oh, okay, great. Yeah.
He is a great mage and a great protector of elvenkind, but his years of desire for safety and paranoia have driven him to the depths that peaceable, sensible elves will not go. He tried to raise the elven armies without consent of the council to take the north back from the humans and other non-Fae that have inhabited our traditional homelands.
And he used the stones to do so.
No, I don't know, he may have. The feeling, this uneasy pulling and pushing sensation, this festering feeling accompanied much of his magic. We were able to stop him and banish him from these woods, he and his wife and their children. We haven't heard from him since, but I do not doubt that his intentions are the same as they have been. He was made a zealot of the worst kind from persecution, driven mad by the loss of his family, his original family.
Well, then it's possible he's become active again recently. We encountered this stone, a more recent stone in a church within the confines of a summoning circle where the undead had recently been raised.
Do you have this stone?
We do.
May I see it?
I look over at Dayrun.
She may know something.
I present the stone.
May I have it?
I look at the party.
You don't wish to
I
keep
think
it, do you?
No, I simply want to utilize it to see if what I believe it is true.
I hold it out for her.
Can I try and see if she's lying?
Yeah, sure. Roll insight.
Also, same here.
Sure, everyone roll insight.
20 for Bankard.
Okay,
20, unnatural for me.
okay,
14 for Oberon.
okay.
And 7 here.
You trust her.
Yeah, of course.
So there's a definite tone of worry in her voice. She doesn't seem to want it for any nefarious deed. She's anxious to basically get answers, as far as you can tell. She doesn't seem to be like snatch and then, I mean, you've seen how powerful she is.
Right, and
So
we
you
don't
might
really
as
have
well
a choice. Yeah.
be able
right.
to.
I present the stone to her.
All we ask is that whatever you find out, please share with us.
Of course. So she reaches out and she looks at it, looks at the dwarvish, and then turns it over and looks at the elvish. And have you read this?
When we read it, it just appears as gibberish.
It's abyssal, written in elvish.
Oh, shit. I don't say that in character, but
That explains why it came out as
Do not say those
Abyssal.
words here.
Oh,
Let me
I'm
see it
terribly
then.
sorry.
It literally just says the abyss will rise.
okay, I can read Abyssal.
Glad we did not go in that
What about
portal.
the other stones? What do they say? I'll look at them later.
Sure.
Oh, why didn't I think of this?
And
I
she
take it
hands
back.
it back to you. I would be very careful with those stones. if it has a plain name on it, it could have come from there.
Now, we believe that there may be one in this forest. Another. In fact, we came here specifically to retrieve it. Have you felt any presences like this in the forest? Or have you seen perhaps a dark-haired half-elven woman named Enna pass through here any time recently?
Enna?
You know her?
Well, there's only one half-elf I know named Enna.
And a Ravenhelm.
Ravenhelm? No. Elator. Aliena Elator.
Saint Cuthbert in heaven.
Bankard shoots you a dirty look.
What, can I not use that in vain? Sorry.
We know her as
Typically,
Anna Ravenhelm.
calling upon his beard in this situation is acceptable.
Well, then perhaps that's a good thing that she doesn't go by that name. Perhaps she has forsworn her father then.
It's true.
We're looking for this particular elven daughter. We believe that she may, in fact, it would make a lot of sense if she were involved in the fight against her father. She could be a valuable ally.
I have not seen her for many years, not since she was a small child, when she went by the name of Enna, before her father was banished.
Oh my. How old is she? How many years ago was that?
250?
Are we sure she's half-elven?
That's what we were told.
Interesting. Well, thank you for that much information at least. Now, to the other matter. Do you know anything about some stone like this being brought into this forest? I felt an urge to visit the grandfather tree, although perhaps that's just the elf in me.
That is your elven blood stirring. You have been denying it for many, many years.
You see through me.
It is not hard, Darren Draug.
Well, I try to maintain an aura of mystery.
The place where I think you would probably start to look would be the cursed ruins of Kars.
Yeah, cursed ruins sound about like what we're looking for.
Yeah, that doesn't sound too far off course.
Cursed ruins.
They are 2 days south of here, just on the edge of the forest. I can provide guides for you to the point, but I will not send my people there.
We understand and we appreciate whatever aid you can provide.
Can I ask you for one more favour?
Yes?
A sackful of this mulled wine is absolutely delectable.
Of course, dwarf.
Excuse me?
Not now, Creflin.
Please.
Technically,
Please no.
What did you call me,
No,
lass?
please. Please
You
no.
and your red hair, you must be half dwarf yourself.
Please no.
Are you not a dwarf?
Do you not see me? I'm only almost as tall as this bloke over here. I'm obviously a mountain dwarf. You're not too far from the mountains. You've seen them around.
Creflin.
You understand his kind. He's very sensitive.
Sensitive.
I said that
fucking
in
angry.
Elvish.
He said it in English.
What did you say to her?
He merely told me that
I just told her that you are a mountain dwarf, and then you are
I told her that. You don't need to
that
be.
you are a proud people who loves your heritage as much as we elves love ours.
You mocking me?
No, of course not. What a ridiculous for the suggestion.
You fucking blighter.
I'm just staring at her, wide-eyed, like jaw slack, like I don't know how to help.
I always thought the dwarven people were more about their dwarven heritage than the fighting among themselves. I'm sorry that I have offended you. I did believe that you were more open to your own kind than perhaps you are, and that is my fault. I apologize.
I think he just likes to be angry.
Did
He
you say
also-
that in Elvish?
And Elvish.
He also likes sacks of mulled wine.
She responds, "That's all dwarves, dear."
I laugh.
They're going
In
to give you
Elvish.
some
So-
mulled wine.
I will happily provide you with some wine, unless you would not like it now.
It's free wine.
I understand that. I accept your humble apology, lass.
And then she turns to Dayron. I would recommend you not eschew your elvish heritage so much, my dear elves?
I have no response to that. I kind of mumble something and
And then basically says we'll provide what you need. There you are. Go.
Tell me how to live my life.
On our way to the cursed ruins, Bankard.
Yes.
You said you might actually be able to make sense of these stones?
I can translate Abyssal, yes. I'll have to translate it from Elvish.
Yeah, I'll have to
He also
read them out.
He also speaks Elvish. He speaks Elvish and Abyssal.
Oh, that's quite useful.
And he just never looked at the stone?
Yeah, he just never really examined the stone.
That's great.
I just took your guys' word for it, and you guys were like, yeah, it's just gibberish. I was like, okay. And then,
anyways,
then
yeah.
she's like, oh, it's Abyssal. It's like,
Let's present
God
one
damn
stone at
it.
a time.
Oh, do we have guides?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So you guys are being guided out. Your horses meet you about halfway, being led by some centaurs. And
Centaurs.
Did they say anything about the centaur tail that I have hanging off of my pack?
Oh, that's right. He does have a centaur tail.
they don't like you very much.
Boy, you're just making friends everywhere you go, aren't
It's a
you?
gift.
It's a gift. You told me you took that from a centaur.
Okay, so you guys head. So the first one you look at. What other languages do you speak?
I speak Common, Elvish, Celestial, and Abyssal.
Okay, so you can only read 2 of the stones.
From the different planes.
Oh, snap! Wait, maybe that's why there are 12 of them.
That would make a lot of sense.
One in Celestial and one in Abyssal?
Yes.
Oh.
And
Which one do
the
I
one
have?
that's in Celestial says Mount Celestial comes.
Mount Celestial
Comes.
comes.
Hey, does anyone here happen to know the 12 languages of the planes? Like what
I
they
know 2
are?
of them.
No.
Oh.
Which languages are spoken where? I'm pretty sure I know Infernal is spoken in Hell. Abyssal in the Abyss. That seems to make sense. Mm-hmm. Is there some kind of lore to roll to know?
Might I know?
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
Wait,
you
wouldn't-
all can check.
Wait, couldn't he translate with tongue?
No,
Spoken, right?
that's only spoken word. I don't have the magic that allows me to
Reading
read
eye.
any written language.
What are you good for? Get out!
Wait, what are we using? History? Arcana?
You would roll. Yeah, I guess history if you have it. Otherwise, it's just intelligence.
Makes me mourn for the linguistics skill.
22 for Oberon.
20 from Darren.
18 for Crithlin.
You guys are so smart.
We're just naming languages. The languages of the plains.
You
11.
so you know Abyssal and Celestial, and you all figured out and write it down. Oberon, you put it in your back. And I'll get you that list later when I write it all down, because I'm not just going to tell you now. We'll do it for next week.
Yeah. But all of them relate to the. We're figuring out where the languages are spoken. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
So we get to the cursed ruins, I suppose.
So yeah, you get up to sort of a point where the green tall trees around you start to turn like a brownish, blackish color, and you can see a ruined castle up on top of a hill. As you've walked, one of the centaurs has told you that this was the seat of a great Neverese, which is Neverwinter, wizard named Karsus, who sought to claim godhood by stealing the goddess of magic, and brought this spell plague to the world, which you remember the end of, Darren. And
yes.
actually, Crethlin as well.
Ooh.
Oh, you both lived through the spell plague. I have so many questions for you.
Here, read this 200-year-old journal that I kept from the time.
Excellent. Oh, it's all in Elvish.
Well, time to accelerate your studies. Also, thank you for your guidance thus far.
And they bow and run away. From the tail stealer.
Centaurs. Real centaurs, guys.
They're nicer than the last ones I met.
So you guys head south. The Star Mount, which is also suspected to be the first mountain, rises up on your right.
Star Mount.
Yeah.
And I know this, obviously.
Well, you love the mountain.
I love
Yeah, and you love the first mountain. What a ridiculous thing to be
Year
interested
3
in.
has been here for how long? That Star Mount over there has been here since the beginning of time of the world.
Well, maybe my tree's been there that long too. Who knows?
Maybe it has. Oh, I'm sure you know your lore very well.
It has been. I do. I read it in a book.
You can always trust what you read in books.
You know what's better than a tree or a mountain?
Oh my god.
St. Cuthbert.
You shut your fucking mouth!
Praise be unto him.
Nobody
So-
told me I'd be
Like the-
traveling.
I don't feel as strongly about anything as all of you guys feel about these things.
Well, why don't you find a passion, Oberon?
Take a
Maybe you
travel
say-
to the Star Mount, you'll understand.
Maybe St. Cuthbert could be a good start.
Oh,
You know what they say, Oberon, jack of all trades, master of none.
apparently, I master no obsession. So we arrive at the Cursed Ruins?
So it raises up onto a hill, and actually what you assumed was just a castle is actually the ruins of a city, a small city. The trees have overgrown a lot of it. Many of the ceilings have fallen down, but they're like the stonework was, upheld by sort of the vines that grew over it. You can see that this was a place inhabited by both elves and dwarves alike. The stonework is indicative of a mesh of the two styles.
What?
Of the two styles.
Of the
Oh,
two
a meshing of the
styles.
two styles. Okay.
A meshing.
Look, a place where elves and dwarves lived in harmony.
Looks like it ended out well.
And who has two of them? You, Oberon and Darren have two stones?
Yes.
Okay, so as you come up through the city with the abandoned buildings, like many of them are either like half walls or like only arches or like just like foundations and basements, you feel drawn towards a point, not actually towards the castle, but towards a very large, gnarled tree growing out of a building that had a bunch of arched doorways and windows.
Do you think these stones call out to each other? Because I'm feeling something of a pull going on here.
I am too.
I don't feel good about it, but we should probably follow it as it is
Yeah.
our only lead.
Yeah. So I walk towards.
Yeah, we'll go toward it.
Okay.
Do it.
So as you do, roll perception.
Yay.
Who? Just Krethlin?
Yeah.
15.
15?
Hey.
Okay. So you hear a quietly in the distance, and then you hear a thud, 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 thud.
Incoming lads.
I'm gonna find something to duck behind.
Okay, roll stealth.
25.
Okay.
I prepare a hand axe in one hand and my maul in the other.
Okay.
I prepare my axe and shield, ready to face whatever evil heads this way.
Pull out my sword, my wooden sword, cast Shillelagh.
All right.
Whip at the ready.
And everybody
And I'm gonna,
roll
can I
for
go ahead and cast
initiative.
Shield of Faith before we go into initiative?
Nope.
Too late.
I got my Shillelagh off in time.
Natural 20.
Ooh.
So what does that total come to?
Oh,
Plus your dex.
plus, 22.
Okay, 29 to 21.
Nope.
Okay. 20 to 16.
19.
Darren. 15 to 11.
14 for Oberon.
Okay. And 10 to 6.
9 for bank card. Yeah, 9 for bank card.
So, thud. And scrambling to a halt are 3 owlbears.
Oh,
And
finally.
Best monster. Ooh, best monster.
and a displacer beast.
Ooh,
Huh?
second best monster.
Do I know what a displacer beast is?
I don't know, do you?
I don't know.
Is that the
I don't know,
thing
do
that's
we?
got
Do
the
I?
things?
It looks like a cat.
Wait,
Like a cat or like a...
It looks like a
large-
panther.
Yeah. Okay.
With like whips on the top of it.
Panther
I'm
like
not sure
whips,
if
it grows
like coming out of
tentacles.
its back.
Tentacles coming out of
yeah.
its shoulder blades.
Oh, gross.
That's great.
It's a very, very muscly, 6-legged panther with tentacles with sort of teeth on them coming out.
This
of its
is
shoulder blades.
gonna be great.
This is gonna be a good time.
Yeah, don't let it hit you.
All right, Krethlin, you're up first.
I take my hand axe and I chuck it at the, what do you call it?
Displacer beast?
Displacer beast. I'm aiming to chuck one of the tentacles off with that throw.
Roll your attack with disadvantage.
Ugh. 4.
So you throw it where you think the displacer beast is, and it just ends up embedding in the ground. Apparently, it wasn't there.
Is the point, did it like disappear or is it still in the same place and I'm just like, what happened?
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Okay. So then I run at it with my maul. That's what I
Okay.
got it, right? Yeah. And I'm running towards it and I take a swing upwards at its face.
Okay, roll your attack with disadvantage.
Fuck. That's 13.
That does not hit.
So I just look silly then.
Not silly.
Where the fuck are you, you stupid beast?
So, Darren, you are up.
Okay, so in my mind, I ducked behind like a fallen pillar or something.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna pop my head up. So what is my relative location to these 3 creatures?
The 4 creatures.
Oh wait, so
There's
Right.
3 owlbears and 1
3
displacer beast.
owlbears. Okay, I thought there were 2. But yes, what is my relative position to these 4 creatures?
So you are about 15 feet from the closest 2 owlbears. Then the next owlbear's about 15 feet. 2 of them are next to each other, and then another one sort of
And then
apart.
between
And
those
then-
2 would be the displacer beast?
And the displacer beast is like between but behind, if that makes
Okay.
sense. Like a bit further,
Yeah.
like about 20 feet from
I
you.
think I got a good mental picture. All right, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to hop up on this pillar and I'm going to try to I'm going to try to surprise this owlbear, make the leap, and drive my short swords into its back.
Sure. Roll your attack.
So I've got this first short sword. I've got advantage because it hasn't acted yet. All right, that's a 26.
That hits.
My sneaky attack, 21 damage.
Did you do your second strike?
Not yet.
Okay, go ahead
So-
and do your second strike.
All right, here comes another one. Another 26,
Okay, that still hits.
and that one's 6 more damage.
So the total is 27 damage.
Yes.
I mean, not bad. It's
I've already moved, so disengaging doesn't actually do anything.
Not so much if you don't
Okay.
have any movement.
Yeah. All right. Well, then I guess I'm here. I'm next to this owlbear.
It is the owlbear's turn. So the first owlbear is going to attack Darren
That makes sense.
as it's just.
Am I like lodged in its back right now, or just like
You
I
didn't
caught-
land on it, so
I
you
just-
just sunk your swords in. It was like, "Ah!" And then because that's the general monster "ow, I'm in pain" sound.
Yeah.
And then
It kind of sounded like a hoot mixed with a growl.
I mean that was what I was going for. And
that's what I thought.
Yeah, 7 out of 10.
you are in a place, however, that it can't really bite at you. So as it tries to reach you on its side, it doesn't really work, and it misses. It's snapping at you. What's your AC?
16.
Okay, but it does manage to claw you with its arm as it takes a big ol' swipe across your back. and you take 11 slashing damage.
I will uncannily dodge that to reduce it to 5.
Okay. And then, Bankard, where are you in this whole thing? Facing them, are you closer to where Dayron was, or are you sort of on the opposite side of the battlefield?
I'm probably still hanging back wherever everyone started out at.
Okay.
Like, how far away did they stop from us?
I mean, they ran basically right up to you. So it's about 10 feet away from you at the moment, the closest one.
Okay, yeah.
And Oberon, where did you end up?
Well, I was walking up with Dayron.
Okay, so you're like right in front of the pillar he hid behind?
Probably, yeah.
So the second owlbear is also going to come up to Dayron. You're the closest to it, so...
Rogue took point. Bad rogue.
Yeah.
Okay, and this one is able to get pretty good purchase on your leg.
Ooh.
With its bite. And it does 12 piercing damage.
That is bracing.
And it's going to try and slash at you as well. And your AC is 16?
Yes.
So it misses. It can't bite and slash at the same time. Go figure. Your leg is definitely bleeding.
Yeah, this is what I get for coming to the woods.
Okay. The third owlbear, Bankard, you're closest to it, so it's going to come up to you and engage. Okay. It misses with its bite. And...
As it lunges in, I block and turn it away.
And then it also reaches out to slash you, and you block it, and then you bring your shield back up, and it just clangs on the front of your shield. So it is unsuccessful. And then Krethlin, the Displacer Beast, is going to try and attack you, since you're right in front of it. And it's going to try and tentacle you.
Man, when the DM says it's going to try to tentacle you, it's bad news.
No.
So it is going to... It misses with its first tentacle and smacks you straight in the middle of your chest for the second one, doing double the amount of damage.
Grog chest!
And so it does 18 damage to you. Now it is Oberon's turn.
Okay, so from where I am, is there... This is a bit of a stretch, but looking over the battlefield as it's churned out now, is there a way for me to run around, like maybe vault over some like ruins or something to get there, so that I may position myself in a way that if I were to cast a spell with a 10-foot radius,
Okay.
that I could affect the things we're fighting and not my friends, because this is not one that the spell I'm thinking of is not one that I can cast and pick targets.
You can get 2 of the owlbears. You might be able to get all 3 owlbears. You won't be able to get the Displacer Beast without hitting Krethlin.
Assuming I don't actually care about Krethlin, is there a way for me to get all of them?
Yes.
Sorry, Krethlin.
Okay.
No, sorry. You can either get 2 of the owlbears and the Displacer Beast, or you can get all 3 owlbears.
I'll do 2 of the owlbears and the Displacer Beast.
Okay.
Putting Krethlin in danger.
Well, thanks, lad.
So I run around the battlefield and I shout, are the 2 owlbears I'm going to get the ones that are fighting Dayron?
Yes.
Perfect. I'm going to go, hang in there, Dayron, I got your back! To toss him an inspiration die. It's a d8. And then I'm going to move into position and jump up in the air and slam my fist down into the ground as I take a knee to cast Earth Tremor.
Okay.
Which will be a dexterity save for everyone affected. So the 2 owlbears, the Displacer Beast, and Krethlin.
Okay. What's the save?
Dexterity at 15 DC.
Okay.
You're gonna have to roll that.
Do you just do it?
Yeah, I do.
Oh.
Yeah. So, but you get advantage against it. That's why I'm kind of like, it's okay.
Okay.
So 18.
18. Krethlin is unaffected.
Okay. Both owlbears are sure-footed, but the Displacer Beast takes damage.
All right.
Is it half damage for Earth Tremor if you make the save?
On a failed save, a creature takes 1d6 bludgeoning damage and is knocked prone. If the ground of that area is loose stone or earth, it becomes difficult terrain until cleared.
Okay.
So no damage to the ones that saved.
Okay.
That's 3 damage to the Displacer Beast.
So as you run up and slam your fist into the ground, a low rumble starts well below the earth and comes up, meeting your fist at a point, and then as it shakes, the entire earth moves around it. Krethlin, you're accustomed to earthquakes. They happen in the mountains.
That's true.
And the owl bears are just stocky folk, and they're very sure-footed. The Displacer Beast, while attempting to be 2 places at once, ends up not sure-footed. The earth spikes up around it, and it falls prone. Bankard?
Yes.
It is your turn.
Awesome. First, I'm going to cast Shield of Faith on Darren.
Ooh,
Nice.
what does that do?
You get +2 bonus AC for the duration.
Many thanks.
St. Cuthbert protects you. Oh wait, I don't have to roll for that. What am I
Yeah.
doing? Okay, well there goes my good roll for this round. And then I'm gonna smack the shit out of an owlbear.
Okay.
Which one?
The one that's
on it.
attacking me.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
He's got an owlbear in his face.
Oh, that is correct.
15, 21
21 hits.
for 10 damage.
Okay.
And then my second attack. Oh wow, 22
That hits.
for another 10 damage.
Nice. So you raise your axe up and bring it down, slicing across its where the fur turns to feathers, losing a few feathers in the process. And it tries to bite at you, but you bash it in the face with your shield and do another upward slice this time, making a nice little X right on the side of its body.
It's like my
And,
signature, whatever.
And it, cries out in pain.
Forgive me, beast, but you leave me no choice.
Okay, Krethlin.
So the thing like hit me in the chest really hard with this tentacle, and then like this ground like starts crumbling all around me, and so I kind of like I'm still sure-footed, but I'm stepping backward and grasping my chest, and then I look down and see that he's made some marks in the Celtic knot on my armor. And I look down and I look at this prone beast in front of me and go, "You fucking fuck! This armor belonged to my grandfather!" And I fly into a rage. Woo! Yeah!
Oh shit.
Do we have like a one of those like party like a confetti explosion? Krethlin goes into raid. Air horns.
Yeah, and so I raise my maul above my head and kind of like do like one of those, you know, like at the beginning of Ninja Warrior, those weird things that you kind of bounce off of.
Yeah.
Like the ground kind of does that right up to the Displacer Beast, and I bounce off one and I bounce off the other, and I like raise my maul to hit it right directly in the face.
Okay.
So how do I roll that? Because it's an advantage for strength if I'm raging, but it's at a disadvantage because of Displacer. So
No, he was hit by the magic attack.
oh, good. Okay.
So he is no longer.
Also, does the rage give him advantage on attacks or just strength checks?
Well, it's prone, so it doesn't matter.
Right,
You
right.
can
Either way,
still-
you would get advantage. But just so you know,
Sure.
it's strength checks, not attacks. Reckless attack is how you get advantage on attacks.
Right, that's right.
But either way, I
Do
proned it.
that too, couldn't I?
But I proned it for you, so it's already
Right, so it's
advantage.
fine. I'll just fucking attack it.
Sure.
Hey! So it's 25.
That hits.
Rock and roll.
Rock and roll! That is 11. Bludgeon,
11
right? Right in his
bludgeoning
fat
damage.
face.
So you bounce, you know, getting some momentum, and you just bring your maul, like, boom, you bash in the face, and it hisses at you in a rage and swats at you with its tentacle, but it doesn't have good aim because you're all sideways.
Right.
And
I slap his tentacle away, and I raise my maul again, and I hit it in the fucking face.
all right, roll your attack again with advantage.
And I say, this is the seal of the Pertin-telling clan, and you'll remember it well. And they're both Jews. So, so 10.
So it's able to bring up one of its many legs right in front of its face and is able to block your maul from coming down and hitting it again.
It's
Snarls at you.
Right back at you.
Okay. Darren.
So I'm gonna use my power of situational awareness to take a look around. I see that Bankard is alone against one owlbear, and I'm alone against two owlbears. And so I think maybe I'll go hang out with the guy with the armor. So I will use my cunning action to disengage from these two owlbears.
Sure.
Then I will move away from them, and I will instead focus my swords into the owlbear that Bankard is fighting.
Okay.
And he doesn't have to pass over my difficult terrain to do so, correct?
He can go around.
I wasn't, because I wasn't in the radius.
Right. I didn't know if you had to cut through it to get to Bankard.
No, the battlefield's only like 20, 25 feet, so he can go around.
So I'm gonna go for where I think under where I think this creature's rib cage is. I don't know too much about owlbear vitals, but there's a 22 to hit.
That hits.
Let's get sneaky, and that would be 21 damage.
Okay. Wow. Okay. Cool.
Right, and I have a wait. If I already used
You already used your cunning action. That's your bonus.
Okay, so that counts as a bonus action.
Yeah.
Okay, no second strike it is.
So it is the owlbear's turn. They turn around
To the sound of the cacophonous earthquake.
and see that the closest thing to them is a maroon jerkined dude kneeling on the ground. And they growl, readying their attack. And that is where we will end for the day.
Oh, no!
You're about to die.
Smarter than your average owlbear.
This podcast has been brought to you by ENPC Productions. All rights reserved. The Essential NPCs podcast is not affiliated with, endorsed, sponsored, or specifically approved by Wizards of the Coast. Wizards of the Coast and Dungeons & Dragons are trademarks of Wizards of the Coast, LLC, a subsidiary of Hasbro. Go to dnd.wizards.com to find out more.